It doesn't take a genius to realize that technology has taken over our lives. I bet some of you are sitting on your cell phones right now, scrolling aimlessly through social media, or you're texting one of your friends. Sure, technology gives us a way to stay connected to everyone around the world, but how does screen time really affect us? More negatively than you may think. Technology habits today are the cause of many problems, such as mental health issues, addiction, cyberbullying, and car accidents. How many kids do you know that are addicted to playing video games or watching YouTube? How do they act when they're around other people? Are they isolated? Do they sit there on their cell phones? Reason kids spend so much time using technology includes boredom, validation, and lack of imagination. Kids used to spend their free time outdoors doing all kinds of activities, and now it seems like it's tough to pull their attention away from the screen. According to an article from the journal Computers and Human Behavior by L.D. Rosen, a wide amount of studies have shown the effects of video gaming on health. For example, heavy video game usage, regardless of the content, predicted depression among adolescents and adults. Other studies have highlighted more negative impacts of video gaming on youth, including delinquency and both externalizing and internalizing problems. I have a cousin who is 16, but when he was around 10 years old, he was very addicted to playing video games, specifically combat, such as Call of Duty or Modern Warfare. I remember he was so addicted to it that he told my aunt, which is his mother, that he wanted a gun of his own. At 10 years old, he wanted his own gun. And that was the line. My aunt decided to take away his video games altogether and then started to limit it for him. Growing up in the first generation with cell phones, I've witnessed isolation throughout my growing up years, where kids who are hanging out are really just all sitting around each other on their cell phones. And I know that from personal experience as well. When I'm hanging out with my friends, oftentimes I notice that, a half hour's gone by since we've actually spoken to each other because we're all sitting on our phones. I also remember being in classes and throughout middle school and high school where teachers would have to confiscate the cell phones because students were so distracted by them. They were just completely unaware of their surroundings. I believe there is a direct correlation between social media usage and mental health. Jordan Young, co-author of a study in the Journal of Social and Clinical Psychology, she writes about a study where they determined the link between primarily depression and loneliness with social media usage. The study included 143 students from the University of Pennsylvania. They were randomly assigned to two groups, one that would continue their social media usage and one that would limit their social media usage. Readings regarding well-being, anxiety, loneliness, depression, self-esteem, and more were taken at the beginning and at the end of the experiment. The experiment lasted 3 weeks. And at the end of it, those who limited their social media usage showed significant declines in feelings of loneliness and depression. Jordan Young quoted, "No matter where they started off, they were told to limit their social media. If they were told to limit their social media, they had less depression, no matter what their initial levels were." Technology was created to make our lives simpler, absolutely. It was also created for entertainment. However, some people allow it to devour them, if you will. We have to be very careful not to let it take over our mental health and turn us to be codependent on it. Now, of all cell phone related tasks, texting is by far the most dangerous, specifically texting and driving. How many people do you know involved in a car accident that was caused by texting and driving? I know quite a few. The National Safety Council reported that cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes each year. That's 1 in 4 car accidents in the US, including 390,000 injuries caused by texting drivers. I myself was involved in one. I was riding passenger while my sister was driving. Now, my sister spends a lot of time on her phone while she drives, and I try and stop her. Whenever I'm riding with her, I specifically tell her, don't even touch it, I don't want to deal with it. However, on this particular day, I was also on my cell phone. Now, again, I was in the passenger seat. I remember I looked up and I saw that we were coming up to a red light and about to rear end the car in front of us. I looked up and I yelled, "Brake!" But she was too late. She panicked and actually swerved into the oncoming traffic lane. Now, luckily, nobody was in that lane. However, we still managed to crash into the car ahead of us. One person was hurt. It wasn't too bad, but somebody was still hurt. And I'll tell you, the insurance consequences were definitely deserving for my sister. Now, don't be that person. Don't be that guy. Even if you are confident that you are good at driving while on your cell phones, you still need to pay attention for your own life, because there are other people who have that same mindset. There are tons of other people who are texting and driving. And just in case they're not paying attention to the road, you need to be paying attention. It only takes one split second for a life to be ruined. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with cyberbullying, it is a form of bullying just limited to the internet. It's a form of teen violence. It's been a serious problem among students. I'd say more so specifically between middle school and high school. Examples of cyberbullying include sending mean or hurtful messages to or about someone, posting bad photos of someone on the internet, posting threatening messages to or about someone, and more. It can be extremely damaging to adolescents and teens. It can lead to anxiety, depression, and even worse, suicide. But despite all of this, it is still common. iSafe Foundation reported that more than 1 in 3 teens experienced threats online. However, only 1 in 10 tell their parents. It seems to me that kids are being gifted technology maybe at too early of an age before they are mature enough to actually understand how damaging certain technology actions can really be. It is very important that we monitor and be self-aware of our technology use. It is a pleasurable and easy way to stay connected and entertained, but it is harmful if not used in moderation and with care. And if abused, it can lead to cyberbullying, addiction, car accidents, and mental health issues.